ahead, Rick.
Welcome to What's Up Bolts here on House on I almost said on Compas on the Beat. Gilbert, the Chargers dominate the Vikings 37-10 here on Thursday Night Football. No Dan, no Fernando. We got the subs in here today. Gilberto Manzano and here your Victor producer, and we're already getting cooked on the comments here. So it's good to be on here. A good win for the Chargers in dominating fashion.
Yeah, with such a blowout, like you want to see the second stringers, right? The third stringers. Can I get some repetitions here on What's Up Boats? Like, staying busy on Copas on the Beat. I'm staying busy on House of Horns, but like, let me get some playing time here. Like, put
Yeah,
me in the game, coach. So, Vic, we didn't know the game plan here. You're going to be the host. So you're going to be Fernando, and I'm going to
yeah,
be Dan and Dago because I need
yeah.
a mental health day. I sound like Hulk Hogan, but anyways, who cares about that? The Chargers win in dominant fashion, 37-10. What a beatdown! And then I'll say, you know, I was here in person covering the game. You see the TV screens behind me. Maybe no curse, but also I did pick the Chargers to lose, so reverse jinx too. So I don't know what you want to take from that. Chargers 1-0 when Gilberto is in attendance. Thank you from that for that. IG 370. Eventually, Fernando will be here. He's going to be on audio. I think he's driving right now to Tijuana. I don't know what he's doing right now. But hey, the subs are here. But Vic, go ahead and take it away. I've been talking already. I know we have a game to break down, but the game was such a blowout that I forgot there was a game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Chargers led wire to wire here. They outgained the Vikings 419 to 164. Justin Herbert led the way with 227 yards, three touchdowns, and he added 62 yards on the ground. So big time performance here from Justin Herbert. I thought one of the things that was really impressive about what he did tonight, he still got hit massively in this game, but one of the things is and I saw this from Gen Stats, Justin Herbert versus the Vikings blitz, he was 13 of 15 for 162 yards, two touchdowns, and a passer rating of 123.5. I thought that was impressive to see that from the offense that had been struggling for the last couple of weeks. Having Joe Alt made a big difference in this game. And then another thing, Gilbert, that I thought was huge, the Chargers ran a lot of 22 personnel, two running backs, two tight ends on 27 plays. The offense gained 145 yards, two touchdowns, and had a 63% success rate out of that personnel. So, big ups to the offensive coordinator there. I know he's been under scrutiny for the last couple of weeks, but I understand like using that 22 personnel really helped, especially going up against this Brian Flores defense that loves to pressure the quarterback, and they did a great job of exploiting it.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that, the personnel thing there, Vic, because somebody asked Jim Harbaugh, hey, Keenan Allen, only 27 offensive snaps. What the hell is up with that? And it's like, oh, we were playing two running backs in the backfield, which I appreciate because, and I'll say this, the first half was Justin Herbert being special. Justin Herbert, the MVP candidate. And it was wild. The pick six really set the tone. And check out my story at si.com. And I'm like, okay, this pick six here or this overturned interception is pretty big. It's 3 minutes into the game, two desperate teams looking for a win, two teams that are just injured, and you see Jim Harbaugh saying, no, that's not an interception. You see Kevin O'Connell talking to the official, that's a freaking catch right there. Don't do this to us 2 weeks in a row. Remember TJ Hawkinson the week before that against the Eagles. So I thought it, and people, Jim Harbaugh to an extent likes to hype up his guy, and I don't want to take that away from him, but he has a point. He spoke to the reporters right now, and he said after that, taking away pick six, a lot of quarterbacks kind of get out of their mental rhythm. They don't establish a rhythm like that, and they kind of like, okay, I got lucky there, and then kind of soak a little bit. Herbert right away to Gadsden. That guy's a star, by the way.
Oh
I
yeah,
saw
Oronde
Antonio Gates
Gadsden.
walking around. Antonio Gates making the Hall of Fame. I'm not trying to set that high bar there for the kid, but Oronde Gadsden the second is a baller. I got some breaking news, by the way. I spoke to Gadsden in the locker room, and I said, "Hey, what's up with your dad not playing you in fantasy football?
Three
Did he?
straight weeks.
Yeah, did he finally start you?" He said, "No, he did
Nope.
not." And he said he's not playing him because it's a good rhythm right now. When he's on the bench, he does well in real football. So I like that. Again, I'm all over the place, but anyways, Herbert being a superstar in the first half set the tone. And in the second half, all right, my guy, don't take a lot of hits. It's a blowout. Let's run the freaking football. I want to say they had like maybe I think Herbert was the leading rusher at halftime, and then in the second half, Kamani went off. So to me, I like the patience approach. I like that Herbert was doing well, and Harbaugh said, "All right, let's tone it down. Let's run the football." Overall, two great halves for the coaching all around. And Jesse Minter, you're back.
Yeah, and I thought, we left out the most important thing here, Gilbert. They didn't punt in this game. They went the whole game without punting, and so when you can do that, it just tells you that the offense was clicking here. And you know, shout out to the coaching staff, especially getting them ready to go on a short week. The other stat that I thought was in, and this goes back to our betting show that we have on. If you haven't checked out the latest episode, please do. But the Vikings have now lost 9 straight games on Thursday Night Football on the road. Gilbert, this goes back their last and only road win on Thursday Night Football came in Dallas in 1978. So yeah, and the Thursday Night Football games, the home teams have been winning. Gilbert, I need to go back and check when was the last time a road team won. So impressive. A couple more things. It was a big night for the rookies, as Fernando pointed out via one of his tweets. R.J. Minkins gets his first interception. Trey Harris his first touchdown, and as you mentioned, Oronde Gadsden five receptions, 77 yards, 1 touchdown. One last item. I know you were down there in the locker room, but no updates on Derwin James who left with an ankle, Mekhi Becton with a knee, and Tarheeb Steele with the knee as well, per Jim Harbaugh. So I guess stay tuned to What's Up Bolts and find out what the update is on those 3 players.
Yeah, and sorry it was a little loud here at SoFi Stadium press box, but that's another reason why I think it was a big performance for Justin Herbert to carry the team in the first half, because I want to say in a span of 5 minutes, Derwin James out, Tony Jefferson out, Mekhi Becton out. I want to say Tarheeb Steele, I forget, but there was a bunch of players who were out, and that's not even including the guys who have already been out. It's good to have Joe Alt back, Denzel Perriman, and Khalil Mack, but that's still a very short-handed team. So I think after that taken away pick six, for Justin Herbert to say, I don't care who's on my team, Gadsden, a 5th-round pick, come on, let's go ball up and get a touchdown here. It was Lad McConkey's night, and like I mentioned a week ago, Vic, I think it's this time of year when McConkey takes off. Eventually, we'll see more Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen. But, injuries have been a problem for this team. But at some point, you got to win. And I think Justin Herbert did that. He answered the call today. It was a sensational first half. Second half with the running game, it was a perfect game for this team all around. Defensively, I don't want to overlook them. They were finally setting the edge. I think Khalil Mack and Perriman needed one game. That Colts game was pretty bad, and I get it. Jonathan Taylor is a whole different problem, but this to fix it up, Aaron Jones was back there, so I don't want to take away anything from the Chargers' performance tonight, but to set the tone on both sides of the trenches, I want to say I stopped looking at the third quarter because it was a blowout. I think Herbert took 1 sack. I could be wrong. So offensive line, they set the tone on the edges. The defensive line set the tone on the edges. To me, last time I said this, I got in trouble, but it's not my fault. Injuries occurred. The team that we saw tonight looked like the team that was 3-0, and I was praising the crap out of. So to me, people want to hype up the Chiefs. Oh, the Chiefs are all the way back. Yeah, they're 4-3. Oh, the Broncos are all the way back. They're only 5-2. Guess what? The Chargers beat both these teams, Broncos and the Chiefs. So can we stop forgetting about the Chargers here? They're acting like they're the 3rd place team here. And they're the only team in the division that's beating all 3 teams in the division, Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos. So can we stop here like the sky is falling?
Yeah, and I think part of it too is it just looked like a completely different team for the past 3 weeks before this win against the Vikings. And so you understand the frustration from fans. And of course, you also have injuries. I mean, and I got to give credit to Fernando. I'm sure he'll talk about it once he hops on, but he tweeted like, having guys back like Khalil Mack, Joe Alt, like they just give juice to this team. And offensively, you could tell that Joe Alt being back just really helped that offense. And then defensively, Khalil Mack, as you said, setting the edge for a lot of those guys, and they were just able to rotate a lot more guys And it sucks having to see Derwin go out. Joseph Miranda says that he was seen in a walking boot. So we'll see what we'll see what the update is on Derwin James. But I thought Jesse Minter, you know, he schemed up a really good game. I just, my biggest thing, Gilbert, and me, I'm gonna be upfront with people. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat things, but Carson Wentz is just an awful quarterback, man. And honestly, it felt like he gave his game away to the Chargers in a way. But at the same time, they did a great job. Jesse Minter took advantage of having a terrible quarterback, and he put him in terrible situations.
Yeah, I know I was kind of making a big deal of the nullified pick six, and I think it was a critical moment in the game for two teams that were banged up and desperate for a win. But even if the Chargers would have came on the wrong end of that because of Carson Wentz, I think the Chargers would have found a way to win that game. Again, it really set the tone for a blowout. Maybe it would have been a closer game if that Isaiah Rodgers pick six stands. But Carson Wentz is pretty bad. I don't want to take away anything from the Chargers defense, but hey, he gave you opportunities to make some takeaways. They did that. A banged up secondary with
Yep.
backups. Mickens got the interception there. So to me, I'm like, who's that guy and who's that guy? They made it work, and I think that's why I think Justin Minter eventually is going to be a head coach in the league because he has a good system that puts players in positions to succeed and do well. I get it. The system is one thing, but you also got to have the players. And
Oh yeah.
when Purdue and Mac was not on the field, they couldn't set the edge. Commanders, Giants, Dolphins, Colts, they all ran over them, all over them. And Kevin O'Connell's a great coach too. So that's why I'm going back to the coaching here. Like, I get it. There's no Jonathan Taylor, but when you have, Aaron Jones, I think Jordan Mason out there.
Yeah, he was out there.
I forgot because nobody was playing.
Yeah.
But I think in total they got 18 rushing yards. That's impressive after the month they had the Chargers defense. So I think 9 rushing yards in the first half, only 4 first downs in the first half. This was a total domination on all fronts, besides special teams because they didn't punt, right?
Yep. Yeah, and one of the graphics I saw was that at one point the Chargers had more first downs than the Vikings had plays, that they've ran plays. I think it was like 27 first downs for the Chargers and like 24 plays for the Vikings. So it was a total domination. And I thought too, I got to give credit to both the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator for the Chargers because they out coach Kevin O'Connell and the DC for the Vikings, who I have a lot of praise for. And so for them to do that and make them look bad, I saw a lot of tweets from Vikings fans where they're already saying like fire KOC, like like the GM is just terrible, blah blah blah. So it just tells you a lot about that. But let's get to our host here. Our main guy, Fernando Ramirez. Let me do a little bit of engineer work here as we get ready, and let me add him on here. Is he ready to go? Do we know?
I'll throw him on there in a bit. But Pedro, I want to give you a shout out here for this comment because I'm going to butcher his name. I might sound like Gronk here when he tries to say Emeka Ekbukbe is a player no one is talking about. He's made a huge jump from last year. He had a great game today. He had, I think, multiple sacks, I want to say. 5 sacks all around for this defense. So shout out to Pedro for that comment there. And Jeffrey, I know Gilbert is so mad the Chargers won. No, I'm not, Jeffrey, because you know why? My story was done in the third quarter. That's a beautiful game for me. That's all I care about. I care about my story getting done early, and I care about my picks. But yeah, my picks suck today. Shout out for the reverse cursor right there, Jeffrey. But Fernando, we're going to throw you in here right now. Hopefully you're ready. Put him in here, Vic.
There we go. There we go. Can you hear us? Are you there, Fernando?
I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah,
yes.
You sound great.
Are you heading to Hong Kong? Are you going to TJ? Where are you going?
Someone was asking if you're going to Hong Kong, Fernando.
¿Dónde vamos a ir a Hong Kong?
Yes, to Delitas Bar.
Who are you with, Fernando?
I am with Dante. I'm with Eric, and this guy's just crossing randomly, I guess. But yeah, we're driving. How are you? How are you doing, Gilbert? Your story got done. I'm sure you're excited about that.
Yeah, but people are in the comments of your show. What's up, Bolts? And
Yeah.
I'm getting harassed here that that I'm the curse and I'm a terrible person, and people are saying I shouldn't be on the show. Where's our King Dan? I told them Dan is taking a mental health week, but people didn't care about that. They
This
want
guy.
Dan on the show. But then somebody, Elliot said that, hey Gilbert, you don't give yourself enough credit. You know ball, my boy. So Elliot Felix is a good guy here, Fernando.
Maybe it's Elliot Tiford that's just hooking you up.
Yeah, that's true. But Fernando, give us your thoughts on this beatdown here for the Vikings.
I mean, Joe Alt obviously made a huge difference tonight. He came back. They were definitely excited about his return. Bobby Hart was in there at right tackle with Trey Pipkins. He was an emergency tackle, so that was kind of smart. Let him rest up for another week. Khalil Mack had basically said on Monday, it's time to stop talking and put up. And I asked him after the game, is that basically what you guys did? He's like, yeah, we needed to answer the call. We needed to play a really good game, and I feel like we did that tonight. I think they had 5 sacks on Wentz, and they hit him about 7 times, if I remember correctly. So that's exactly what they wanted to do. They ran the football. Kamani Vidal said that he feels like the offensive line has really helped open up holes for him. That's why in 2 out of the last 3 games he has 100 rushing yards. So yeah, but I think Joe Alt and Khalil Mack kind of made the big help both sides of the football. Joe Alt obviously playing the whole game, and then on the other side, Khalil Mack said, I'm not playing 12 snaps. I need more. I need to help my guys in there. So that was definitely a huge plus for them.
Go ahead, Vic.
Can I ask Fernando a question here? Fernando, I talked about a little bit earlier about the Chargers running some 22 personnel, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. They ran 27 plays on offense and gained 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, and had a success rate of 63%. Is that something that you've seen before, or was that something that they've added for this week? Like, what do you think went into the success that they had with that 22 personnel?
Joe Alt. I mean, that's kind of, they had Joe Alt. They had what's the name? Tucker Fisk has been very good at blocking. I think they kind of saw something in him. The game that Scott Matlock didn't play in Miami, they put him in there, and Tucker Fisk has really helped this offensive run game work. Last week they didn't get it, obviously, because they were down early, but tonight they got it. So it seemed like Joe Alt kind of changed the whole outcome of the game, and they're definitely excited to have him back. I mean, you saw Herbert and him dancing and celebrating, and they were really excited to have him back. And I think that's the thing when you have Joe Alt and you have a healthy offensive line, it kind of changes your approach. And I wrote that Justin took 4 hits in the first drive. He only took 4 the rest of the game. And I know that sounds like a big number, 8, but the way he's been getting hit consistently throughout the whole game, that was pretty key tonight to get him to not get hit as much as he had been getting hit in previous games.
Fernando, I'll give you like a 2-part question, but also I will give you your flowers. You've been telling me about Oronde Gadsden II since, I want to say since May. I don't know. I think it might not even be training camp. It was like OTAs. You were telling me about this guy from Syracuse, 5th-round pick. Then I remember we did the film review with the GM, Joe Ortiz, and they were showing the film on him. I was like, whoa, this guy's actually pretty good. So, one, I'm guessing you're not surprised, but what does it say that Herbert's been feeding this rookie 5th-round pick, to go from like pretty much, having to earn the snaps and then making the most of it? What does it say about him? And then there's so many pass catchers on this team. Do you think we'll see more of Trey Harris? Do you think we'll see maybe some opportunities for KLS? You still got Keenan. You still got Quentin Johnson. It was Matt McConkey's day today, but how do you balance all these pass catchers?
Well, when I was on with Pancho on the pregame of the Chargers Spanish network, I said Justin Herbert is going to have to be a good dad and feed all of his children. So I feel like tonight he did a really good job doing that, spreading the football around when needed to. But Oronde, honestly, that's a shout out to Derwin. Derwin had a camp in San Diego right before mini camp, before they broke, and I asked him he always gives us a player to watch out for, and he's like, watch that tight end out of Syracuse. He's like, that kid can ball. So when he told me that, I started paying more attention to him, and then obviously when we did that thing with Joe, I thought he took a lot of time talking about two players, and that was Omarion Hampton and Oronde Gadsden. So they're really excited about him, and I think he did a really good job. I think they've done a good job of scheming him open, because there's multiple times where he's down the field by with a cornerback on him or a linebacker or something, and he's just too fast for them. So I think it's been impressive what Greg Roman's been able to scheme from him. But Eric, what did you think of Oronde Gadsden and the Chargers' performance tonight? This is Eric D. Williams of Fox Sports, obviously,
big
friend
time.
of the show. We love this guy.
Time. We love it.
I liked his ability to get down the field, but I was talking to him with your boy here, and he was saying that he wants to be a complete tight end, that it's not just going out and catching passes, but in order to get more snaps, he needs to be on the field when they're running the football too. So he's focused on not only making plays in the passing game, but being a good blocker in the running game so he can get on the field more.
Yeah, Eric, have you seen that from Gadsden, ability to block and do a little bit of everything?
I think he's been passable as a blocker. I don't know if I would say he's dominant, but the fact that he can be out there and just be a shield blocker, kind of like Gates was. Gates wasn't a dominant run blocker, but he was athletic enough to be able to get in the way of guys. And then, we'll see how he develops over time. I think it's good enough to get him out there so defenses won't know that you're definitely going to throw the football when he's out there on the field.
Eric, we'd love to talk to you about like big picture stuff, and you cover the AFC West, very closely. And before we let you go to TJ in Hong Kong with Fernando and Dante there, what's your real sense of the AFC West? There's a lot of talk of the Chiefs are back. I know you didn't have the Chiefs high in the preseason. There's a lot of talk about the Broncos being 5-2. I also know you weren't high on the Broncos either. Where do the Chargers stand in this 3-team race here?
I think the Broncos are Fugazi. I'm not buying them at all. They're the luckiest team in the NFL right now. They probably should be 2-5, not 5-2. But their defense is real, and Bo Nix can make plays at times, but he's inconsistent. I'm concerned about the Chargers with the way the Chiefs are playing right now. The Chiefs look like they're about to open a can of what on the rest of the league. But this was a real big win for the Chargers to get to 5-2. Now they go to Tennessee. Fernando and I were talking about it. They could possibly run the table to bye week and get to 8-3. I think that would be good for them to be able to establish a little bit of wiggle room, because they got to face the Chiefs again, and they're going to have some tougher games to finish out the year. And the fact that they get Joe Alt back, I think Fernando's right. I think that's a huge deal. It just kind of, gives Herbert some comfort knowing that his blind side is protected and he can go back there and rip it and not feel like, as soon as he hits his back foot, he's going to get hit. So thought the protection was a lot better. Thought the fact that they're able to run the football and have balance was important. And then, Vic, you mentioned that 22 personnel. That reminded me when I was covering the Seahawks and Greg Roman was coaching the Niners. They used to run a lot of 22 personnel, and they were able to be a little more diverse in how they ran the football by getting two backs out there. So maybe that was part of the plan and strategy.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up Kamani Badal. Like, he was really good blocking in this game too. So that he sprung Herbert there for a big run there as well. So his blocking was also very impressive in this game. But I wanted to ask you, Eric, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about the defense and some of the adjustments that Jesse Minter made in this game. What was your impression of what he did? And I mean, the Chargers didn't even punt in this game. So shout out to the special teams there. But defensively, I thought Jesse Minter gave some good looks to that defense, and Carson Wentz was confused all night.
I thought he was just more aggressive, to be honest. Like they're sending heat. They're not just going to stay back. They were kind of taking the game to them, and it makes sense when you're facing a quarterback like Wentz. Like just get in his face. You know he's going to make mistakes. If you get to him and get pressure, I think we're going to see the same thing next week against Cam Ward. You know, just get guys in his face and make him give the ball to you. So I think the fact that they blitzed a little bit more. And kind of got guys going, got the juices going. Obviously, getting Khalil back is huge because Khalil had some pretty good bull rushes when I focused on him, just specifically watching their defense. But I think just being more aggressive and having more of an aggressive attacking mindset, paid dividends for them.
By the way, Eric, and one of those goes, I'm glad for my friend Dan and his mental health that the Chargers won tonight, because Eric had to listen for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Angry Dan on the way back from the game on Sunday.
Yeah, I was playing my violin. I was like, come on, dude.
The one time that they actually win and he's not in the car with you guys. What's up with that?
Well, and not just that, but he didn't even watch the game because he was at his own game, so he wasn't able to check it out. So I'm sure he'll be happy when he sees the result. But
stop listening to that Drake.
Yeah, stop listening to Drake. And he might be the curse, though, guys.
Some guy got mad at me the other day because he's like, "Are you saying that people listen to Drake is the reason why teams lose in the NFL?" And I just started laughing because I said, "You're saying." I'm like, "Hey, but
you said it, not me."
I know, I said it, but yeah, no, it's a good win. It's just that they're gonna face some tougher quarterbacks. So, but again, they just needed this. It's kind of like Bud Dupree told me in the locker room. It's kind of like when Steph is having a bad shooting night and he just needs to see the ball go into the hoop. He's like, tonight was us seeing the ball going into the hoop. They lost Derwin James early, and then they lost Tony Jefferson for a little bit. And R.J. Mickens, the sixth round pick out of Clemson, was in there, and he got his first interception. He did really well, and I asked him after the game, and he's like, I felt comfortable. He's like, the coaches have really helped me kind of catch up, and that's what I wrote about. I'm like, 3 rookies tonight had a very strong performance for the Chargers. Oronde Gadsden, Trey Harris caught his first touchdown, and then R.J. Mickens gets his first career interception. So all these rookies, I mean, they keep on showing up for the Chargers as they did last year. They need these guys, and again, very strong performance from all these guys. And Herbert, the one interception, obviously a miss, but everything else from Justin was pretty good tonight.
Hey, Fernando, is R.J. Mickens related to Jaden Mickens, the wide receiver?
No, I think. Who was he related to? He is related to somebody. I just can't remember. I don't think he's related to him, but I know he's related to somebody. I just can't remember who it was.
When I heard the last name, I'm like, did that guy play wide receiver, cornerback? I couldn't remember, and I looked it up right now. I don't know if they're related, but yeah.
No, I know he's related to somebody. I just can't remember who it was.
Okay, yeah, but the rookie class is doing well. It was a big time game too. You could sense how the excitement from Jim Harbaugh talking about the rookies, like the way he talks about Oronde Gadsden. He's in love with that player right there. And I like what Eric mentioned with the 22 personnel. It makes me wonder if Hampton and Najee were both healthy, will we see a lot of that? That would have been a great system right there for Justin Herbert to keep him upright and do a little bit less. But all right, they're making it work.
Well, another thing is too, are they gonna trade for a running back, or have they seen enough from Kimani, or is it we need another running back on top of Kimani to kind of keep this thing going? So the next few days are going to be really interesting when it comes to the Chargers trade-wise, because the trade deadline's November 4th, and they keep on staying in the news about wanting a running back, a tackle, and then I think I saw this week that they were also looking for defensive line help. So I'm sure those guys are going to be active in the trade deadline.
Yeah, no, we'll see what they do. They still got about 2 weeks to do it. It seems like the Chargers are always in the news for a trade, but sometimes don't go all in, which is good. You want to be a little patient, not be too aggressive, to not burn all your draft picks. But I'll let you guys go to TJ because somebody in the comments said it's way past my bedtime, and that person's correct, Fernando. So we'll let you guys keep driving here.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Dante, despídete.
See you guys. Vámonos a las nenitas.
Take care, Dante, Eric.
Por Hong
See you guys later. Bye.
Señoritas
Later,
decentes.
bye.
Bye.
There we go.
We
There
did
goes
it,
the
Vic.
guest.
The backups, made it through the show.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully we left things the way they are. I just want to give a shout out to the Charger fans for being in the comments. Pedro Ramirez, Joseph Miranda. We have Angel Salcedo, who's always he's always repping Boltillo 93. We got Brett Gardner on here. Who else? Jeffrey
Elliot Felix,
Zambrano.
my guy, my burner account, Elliot.
Yep. Elliot, LG 370, Robert D, who was on here before we hopped on. So just want to give a shout out to you guys letting us hop on here and kind of
Robert D. Thank you.
Yeah, be the substitutes here, the substitute teachers, and hopefully we did a good job for you guys. We try to, we try to give you guys good content, and we make fun of each other and we rip each other, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we do good by you guys, and it was a good post game show. The Chargers put on a whooping on the Vikings, so enjoy the win. Enjoy this little mini bye, and then get ready for the next opponent. Which who are they taking on next? Oh, the Titans, right? So
yeah.
There's also that.
Coach Mike McCoy, the return there, or in Tennessee. But yeah, no. Before we leave, I just want to, say this is awesome to put on a show like this. We're kind of, we're flexing our muscles. Fernando, Eric, and myself at the game. Victor, you're holding it down as a host, and Fernando and Eric had to take off. Dante too, our good friend of the show here. So I'm glad people stayed up for this late game. It was a beatdown. You guys could have easily checked out because it was over by the third quarter. But you guys were in the comments. We made the show work here. And it's fun working with this group here. So you guys make it better in the comments. We appreciate it. But Vic, I am ready to close out here. And thank you for staying up as well. And
yeah, no worries.
Vic. But it's time to get going. Ya nos vamos. Pues, ya nos vamos.